It's the weirdest thing. I could just be at a party and we're just like playing jams. Everyone's dancing, you know. They're doing the Trump dance for a little while. Then all of a sudden, you put on a couple of Radiohead tracks, and then they're all just, it's so true. Oh, weird fishes. Weird fishes. Kirk here. I'm sure you all know him. He's a hilarious comedian who often portrays characters. Here's one of his characters that he's portraying. This is a bit, just for anyone who still doesn't know. He's so good at it. Every single time I play his videos on my stream, there's a handful of people in the chat, I guess, aren't familiar with his work, who are all just like convinced that he's an actual MAGA Republican. They're always just like, oh, well, fuck this guy, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, I can't believe how ridiculous MAGA is. I'm like, it's a bit. He's playing a character.
So I had a few people reach out, so I figured I'd jump on here and just let everybody know that was me driving President Trump's garbage truck. There's me with Vivek right there, but I gotta say it was an honor and a privilege to drive Garbage Force One. President Trump is just a normal, everyday guy. He hopped in, no problem. He looked at me, he said, give me one of these right here, and we don't have one of these, we have one of those. So I honked a couple times and he laughed. He said, how about we take this bad boy through McDonald's? And I said, sir, I don't think she'll fit in the drive-thru. He said, it's all right, I used to work there. And he turned to me and he said something, and I'm getting chills just thinking about it. He said, this is really sticking it to Joe Biden. I said, yes, sir, it is. So, Joe, consider this a message to you, because you called us garbage, and in order to prove that we aren't garbage, we got a truck that hauls garbage. Now, does that sound like something garbage would do? Would be to drive around in a truck that hauls garbage? I don't think so. You made a mistake.
Now, you might be wondering to yourself, he seems a little bit more reserved, and you would be correct. Normally, he lays it on a lot more thick. He talks, like he's got a whole thing where he's like, I got my emotional support bear, you know. He's like dying of COVID and all this other kind of shit. But he toned it down a lot for this one. And so this one's a little bit more subtle than his normal bits. And that's going to become very important in a second.
Joe, you can't call a group of people garbage unless it's meant to be funny. And in that case, those people need to stop being so soft. Maybe get a sense of humor. But if you call me garbage, that's offensive. And you should consider what it's like for people's feelings to hear that. You might as well call me Oscar the Grouch, because you done pissed me off, Joe. And if being a patriot is what they're calling garbage these days, then yeah, I am garbage. Because I'm going to show up to the polls wearing a garbage bag to show you what us white trash can do. And they're going to rename Election Day Garbage Day, because we're going to be taking out the trash, which is you, even though I'll be the one wearing the garbage bag.
Charlie Kirk fell for it. Charlie Kirk thought it was real. He posted it. I think it's subsequently now deleted. Charlie Kirk, this is fantastic. This is the man who drove Garbage Force One with President Trump yesterday. Watch as he gets emotional describing the moment with Trump and how he felt about Joe Biden calling conservatives garbage. Yeah, I know. And hey, before you all make fun of Charlie Kirk, okay? Like I said, I have played Brent's clips in streams a lot of times, and sometimes it takes people, I'd say, a good solid 60 seconds before like, oh, this is a bit. Because he is very, very good at what he does, right? And he gets a lot more aggressive in his other sketches. Like he really drives the point really home, and like eventually you're like, oh, okay, he's being silly. There's no way this is real. In this one, he dialed it back just a little bit, and that was all it took for someone like Charlie Kirk. I guessing maybe the photo, well, the fact that he looks a little bit like the actual truck driver that was in there with Vivek, right here. That helps a lot. Right? Because right away, you know, he's like, by the way, you can tell it's me. Here's my photo. This is me, you know. And the fact that he called him Vivek, he mispronounced his name, probably helped a lot for Charlie Kirk, because every single Republican refuses to learn Vivek's name, even though Vivek keeps on saying, hey, by the way, my name is Vivek. It rhymes with cake. It's very easy. There you go. Please learn my name. And everyone's like, yes, well, you're one of the good ones, Vivek. What did Alex Jones call him? Raman Swami. He's like, Vivek Raman Swami. Just an incredible man, incredible force right now. Really an obstacle for you know, the Satanists and the globalists to contend with. Being that, of course, he is, as you can probably tell, not white, but still, Raman Swami is useful to the movement, and we're very proud to have him on the show. And so that I'm sure convinced Charlie Kirk a little bit more. Yes, it is deleted, but Charlie Kirk thought this was the driver crying and talking about how he's going to vote for Donald Trump in a garbage bag. Yes, Brent is a treasure. And again, like I've said so many times before, this is why I respect comedians who are mastercrafts at their art. You know, it is an art form, all right? It's absolutely an art form. And this wasn't even necessarily an intentional troll job, in the sense where I think that, like, Brent was specifically being like, oh, if I just play this just right, I'm sure I can convince Charlie Kirk and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, if I just be a little more subtle in my delivery, and I can still put the jokes in there, I can still make it funny. If you know, you know, right? If you know, you know. But then it actually got to a point where Charlie Kirk believed it. So unfortunately, I now need to reach out to the white members of my audience and express my condolences to a lot of you. If you didn't know, white people, unfortunately, have lost Radiohead. And I know for non-white people, it might be difficult to comprehend just how, you know, gargantuan a moment this is in the history of Caucasian, in Caucasian history, or whatever you want to call it. But for white folk, losing and having to boycott Radiohead is a lot taller order than asking white people to boycott McDonald's, even though they do absolutely love McDonald's. And I gotta tell you, I am one of those people. I am a person who has seen Radiohead live 5 times, and I have loved every one of those moments. I have had Radiohead songs that I know sometimes it's weird when you see those memes where it's like, what is it with white people where you just put on a fucking Radiohead song and they all start crying? It's the weirdest thing. I could just be at a party and we're just like playing jams, everyone's dancing, you know, they're doing the Trump dance for a little while, then all of a sudden you put on a couple of Radiohead tracks and then they're all just, oh God. It's so true. Oh, weird fishes. Weird fishes. Weird fishes. So, hey, by the way, I sympathize with the struggle right now that a lot of white people are going to have to go through. The good ones, by the way, who are now going to have to, you know, cut Radiohead out of their lives and not really appreciate the music in the same way, because it's all written by pretty hardcore Zionists. I don't know if you heard, but... And Matt Leck also repeats these sentiments. Listen to Radiohead probably more than any other band, but hey, Tom citing J.K. Rowling in defense of playing shows in Israel and Greenwood's partner being a Douglas Murray fan has spoiled their work for me over time. And the clip has been removed from Stereogum. I don't know if Stereogum was asked to take the video down, if the agent was like, can you please remove that video? Tom Yorke was acting erratic, and he doesn't entirely know what was going on, but we would prefer if that video just not be shared widely. So here it is. Tom Yorke of Radiohead responding to someone protesting collective punishment of Palestinians that Radiohead routinely whitewashes with collective punishment of thousands of his fans, walking off stage and blaming one protester. I hate this prima donna shit. You know, there's so many fucking musicians, just holier than thou kind of stuff, where it's just basically like, you've got what, 4,000, 5,000, or whatever the size of the stadium was, people who are watching you live, and then one person in the crowd is like, stop supporting Israel, stop playing concerts in Tel Aviv, do something, use your voice, and then all of a sudden you're like, fuck you all. Show's over. He ruined it. He ruined the show for all of you. Yeah, it's his fault. Bye. You know, like, that. What the fuck? Who are you?
stand here and say that, right here. Come on. You're not going to fucking stand. You're standing in this thing. Don't stand there. You're carrying. Come here and say it. You want to piss off everybody's name? Shut the fuck up, man!
All right, there. It's like, what? Okay, well, see you later. And then the concert's over. I mean, how thin is your skin, Tom? You're one of the best-selling rock artists of your generation. You've made countless anthems. Your stuff is played in every single college kid's fucking basement all day. You know, I mean, what the hell? And I say this as, again, a monstrously huge Radiohead fan. It really, like, I had heard previously that Tom Yorke was, like, pro-Israel. And, like, it's also weird to me because as someone who's a fan of their music, like, Hail to the King, it's an entire album effectively calling out, you know, the U.S. empire, a lot of the fucked up stuff the U.S. does. Why are there so many people who can be instantly critical of what America does and what, you know, American, politicians do and completely fine being like, wow, George Bush is a massive ass asshole. George Bush is a war criminal. Dick Cheney's a war criminal. They were all war criminals. And when it comes to this issue, suddenly it's like, oh, it's complicated. It's totally complicated. So, yeah, that's sad. But guess what? I have to do an appeal to other Caucasian skinned melanin lacking creamsicles like myself. If we can give up Starbucks, which we have, and their sales are plummeting, and we can give up McDonald's, which we have, so give up Radiohead. It's gonna be okay. Guess what? There's other bands that sound great, that are of similar musical styles, that are very anti-colonial. And still are. Massive Attack is a great example. Massive Attack have been on the right side of history. You might enjoy and know that Radiohead was obviously inspired a little bit by the work of Roger Waters and Pink Floyd. There you are. You don't have to lose your Pink Floyd musics. You can listen to Pink Floyd instead. Portishead, another example. I know it's a different genre, trip hop instead, but Portishead, Beth Gibbons, beautiful. She's incredible, and yes, they've also been advocates for this. It's not going to be the end of the world, you know? How to disappear completely.
Hey, if you'd like to unlock secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/The Serfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Poppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Travis McClinton, Trincell, Words Greenwood. With additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings